On NTA International. My name is Frama Panyi and Hannah Olayenka is the sign language interpreter. You can watch this news on our social media platforms displayed on your screen. We begin with the headlines. House of Representatives converses suspension of proposed cybersecurity levy on electronic transactions. Federal government and partners unveil plans to promote wash services in Nigeria. An African Union urges member countries to prioritize local manufacturing of fertilizer. And we begin with stories from the State House. President Bola Tinubu has today continued with his official engagement after his return from trips to the Netherlands and Saudi Arabia. After engaging some of his ministers, the president also received some state governors at the State House this Thursday. The governors included Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State, and Obasani of Kaduna State. State House correspondent Musbawut Wahab reports that details of these successive meetings were not disclosed to the journalist. Inspector General of Police Kaide Egbetokun was also at the State House, apparently to brief the president on development with his force. And President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Chuka as the managing director of the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority. Woke is a seasoned engineer and politician who had served as chairman of Emuaha local government area of Rivers State and was chief of staff at Government House, Port Harcourt, for many years. In a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, the president expects the new chief executive officer to discharge his duties with integrity and in conformity with the highest standards of transparency while working at harnessing and developing the water resource potential of the area, as well as ensuring that the authority is a channel for holistic and integrated industrial, agricultural, and community development. Now, efforts by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu to empower women and youths in the country have continued to attract international attention with more requests for collaboration in tow. This time around, it is from the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, who, among other things, is proposing the establishment of computer classrooms to rehabilitate and empower young female victims of human trafficking in the country. State House correspondent Adini Taiwo reports.
Leading a four-man delegation to the office of the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, says ongoing efforts by our pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative, have helped to highlight the huge potential of Nigerian women and youths. Their proposed collaboration, which cuts across 4 key areas, such as establishment of innovation centers across the country, as well as mentorship programs in business, science and technology, is targeted at developing these potentials.
And 50% of those are women. And the aim of the program is to help develop them and to show young Nigerians that their future is in Nigeria and not somewhere else, and that they can develop their company. And we work with them with Israeli mentors, with Nigerian mentors, and we work on this program. We are looking to expand the program for the next cohort and double the numbers.
It also focuses on art development, textile promotion and agriculture, with Nigerian women and youths who are farmers expected to leverage Israel's renowned expertise in agriculture to expand their businesses.
That would work with you and your office for opening computer classrooms. You know, we can choose random places, but we'd like them to be targeted, and we would want to work with your office to say, okay, let's do one here, let's do one there.
Their collaboration targets Nigerian women, and that fact is gladdening enough for the First Lady, who expressed readiness to work with the embassy.
The support we have from, foreign friends, I will put it in that context, has quite been encouraging, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't have, faith in this administration. And I want to really appreciate that. We're going to work with you in all these areas.
On the situation in Gaza, the First Lady prayed for peace. She also granted audience to the Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, Hidayet Bakakta, who was in her office to explore areas of cooperation with promotion of Nigerian culture at the center of their conversation. In the State House, NTAi, NTA News.
Critical stakeholders have advocated for more inclusion of women's participation in governance and policy making to enhance productivity. This forms part of the submissions at the opening of a two-day gender mainstreaming workshop for staff of NILS organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in conjunction with the United Nations office in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Available data reveals that despite extant legal framework that recommends 35% affirmative action of women participation, representation in governance still on the average. This workshop of Train the Trainer for NIL staff on gender mainstreaming is designed to equip them with the necessary tools and competency into policies, programs, and budgeting.
I'm very optimistic that NIL is strategically positioned in ensuring that women secure wider participation in governance by guiding policymakers to be able to make informed and evidence-based policies to enhance gender participation in governance in our country.
We wish to reaffirm UN Women's commitment towards gender equality and the empowerment of women in Nigeria.
We are lagging behind in terms of empowerment. Women are lagging behind in terms of education. Women are lagging behind in terms of health care services.
We need to do all that we can do. We're all very much aware of the level of participation of women, participation and representation of women in Nigeria, which is disheartening.
The training will expose participants to gender concepts and mainstreaming strategies. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The African Union has called on member countries to focus more on the local production of fertilizer rather than importing farming input outside the continent. This came to the fore as leaders converged on Nairobi, Kenya for the second Africa Fertilizer Summit. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
This is the second African Fertilizer Summit taking place in Nairobi, Kenya.
Excellencies, ladies
African leaders in attendance are worried over soil degradation and soil infertility on the continent. It is estimated that Africa is losing over $4 billion worth of soil nutrients each year, severely risking its ability to feed itself.
That of deficit straight into
President
surplus.
William Ruto emphasized the need for the production of quality fertilizer to address low yield that is threatening food security.
A year ago, our agricultural production, especially of maize, was about 40 million bags. With the use of fertilizer in the last 1.5 years, adequate, crop-specific fertilizer that we used e-voucher, technology-based e-voucher, we have increased our agricultural production of maize from 40 million bags to 67 million bags in one season, just because of the correct use of fertilizer.
The chairperson of the African Union called on the member countries to focus more on local production of fertilizer rather than importing the farming input outside the continent. Musa Faki Muhammad said some African countries produce enough fertilizer but are not patronized by Africans.
Some African countries produce fertilizers, but we depend mostly on imported fertilizers, making them very expensive for our farmers. Yet, the African Center for Fertilizer Development, based in Zimbabwe, has been in existence since the 1980s. We must optimize use of such existing continental assets to boost local fertilizer production and deliver quality fertilizers to African farmers at affordable prices.
Other development partners urge African leaders to give priority to local solutions in addressing food production and security challenges. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And all is now set for the visit of Prince Harry and his wife, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, to Nigeria tomorrow, 10th May 2024. Director of Sports Defense Headquarters Air Vice Marshal Abidemi Timothy Marquez announced this at a news conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the report.
The visit of Prince Harry, the founder of the Invictus Games, to Nigeria will facilitate the development of a state-of-the-art center for the management of wounded soldiers and enhance the chances of Nigeria hosting the prestigious event.
The need to build a state-of-the-art, structure for the management of the wounded and injured soldier, particularly the post-traumatic stress syndrome, that are manifesting due to our engagement in the counter-insurgency operation.
Invictus Games is a sporting event that promotes physical and mental recovery for wounded soldiers across the world.
Recently his amiable wife did DNA genealogy test, and it was confirmed that she is 43% Nigerian. She's also looking forward to come to Nigeria as part of our ancestry and our lineage.
On the schedule of the private visit of Prince Harry and his wife Meghan includes sporting events, visit to 44 Military Reference Hospital Kaduna to interact with wounded soldiers, and a similar visit to Lagos. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Hungary on Thursday, seeking a new journey with Beijing's closest European ally amid divisions with the West over the Ukraine war and global trade. The state visit to Hungary is the last leg of Xi's European tour and his first to the continent since 2019. Charles Alpha reports.
In recent years, the Central European country of 9.6 million people has attracted a flood of major Chinese projects, mostly related to the manufacture of electric vehicles and batteries. Hungarian President Tamás Solyok warmly received Xi with his wife, Pen Li-yong, with military honors at the courtyard of the presidential palace in Budapest on Thursday morning. The Chinese leader arrived in the Hungarian capital on Wednesday night after wrapping up his visit to Serbia, and later attended a state dinner with Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Budapest was decked out with Chinese flags and placed under tight security, while Tibetan flags were hidden from sight. Reports say Hungary's pro-government Magyar Nemzet said ahead of his arrival, Xi praised a long-standing friendship which he described as mellow and rich as Tokaji wine, referring to the renowned Hungarian vineyards region. We have gone through hardship together and defied power politics together amid volatile international situations. Chinese Xi said, "Our bilateral relationship is at its best in history and has embarked on a golden voyage on a new journey of the new era." Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And former Fiji Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama has been sentenced to prison for interfering in a criminal investigation. Frank halted a police investigation into financial mismanagement allegations at the University of the South Pacific. Again, Charles Alpha has details.
Frank Bainimarama was sentenced to a year in prison for interfering in a criminal investigation while he headed the government of his South Pacific island nation. Acting High Court Justice of Fiji, Salesi Temo, sentenced the 70-year-old in the capital, Suva, on a conviction for attempting to pervert the course of justice. Reports say suspended police commissioner Sitveni Kiliho received a 2-year prison sentence on a conviction of abuse of office. Bainimarama had led his government for 16 years, first as a military dictator following a 2006 coup, and then as a prime minister who was democratically elected in 2014 and 2018. After the 2022 election, he was succeeded by Prime Minister Sitveni Rabuka, who also first seized power as a coup leader in 1987. Bainimarama was Prime Minister in 2019 when he ended a police investigation into allegations of financial mismanagement at the University of the South Pacific. The university is owned by 12 Pacific Island nations and its main campus is in Suva. The university's administration had reported to police alleging abuses of funding and mismanagement. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break now. More reports when we return.
I don't know what your dream is. To live your dream requires unwavering passion. But if your passion burns true, you will defy the skeptics.
And captivate countless souls.
It's 1,000% yes.
The world will never be the same.
That is how you do it.
Because you dared to dream.
This is Nigerian Idol.
Catch the premiere of Nigerian Idol Season 9, starting 21st of April, 7 p.m. West African time. Nigerian Idol, exclusive to DSTV and GoTV.
Nigerian Idol is proudly sponsored by Techno, Stop at Nothing, and Biggie for every moment.
Welcome back. Now, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory sitting Maitama has granted bail to the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, and 3 others. The trial judge, Justice Silvanus Orji, admitted the 4 defendants to bail in the sum of 100 million naira each in 2 sureties in like sum. Miriam Emeka Amadi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned on a 6-count charge the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, his daughter Fatima Sulehama, and Al Burak Global Investment Limited, a company where Hadi Sirika allegedly has invested interest in. The defendants are standing trial on alleged financial crimes to the tune of 2.8 billion naira. The FCC alleged Hadi Sirika used his position as the minister to confer undue advantage on his daughter and son-in-law by allegedly giving them contracts. Hadi Sirika pleaded not guilty and denied the alleged corrupt practices involving 2.8 billion naira. Similarly, his daughter and son-in-law pleaded not guilty to the 6-count charge. After the arraignment, the defense counsel Mahmoud Magaji SAN, who stood in for Fatima, and Sanusi Musa SAN, counsel to Jalal Suleiman, moved the application for their bail, pleading for mercy, not to be given conditions they cannot afford. The counsel to the former minister, Kano Agabi SAN, asked the court to be liberal in granting him bail. Although the bail request applications were opposed by the prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs SAN, justice already granted the 3 defendants bail in the sum of 100 million naira and 2 sureties each in like sum.
There are other issues that were introduced, like the Nigerian Airways, the Ethiopia something, which we added to it. So it was not there originally, but Nigerian Air matter is there are 2 counts on it. That's why we amended it.
The sureties must be responsible citizens with verifiable home addresses, while one of them must have landed property with a certificate of occupancy signed by the FCT minister. If the defendants are unable to perfect their bail conditions, justice already ordered that they should be remanded in prison custody until the time they perfect their bail conditions. The matter has been adjourned to 10th June 2024 for commencement of trial. Miriam Emeka Amadi, NTA News.
Now, the House of Representatives has asked the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the proposed introduction of cybersecurity levy on electronic transactions. Adopting a motion by Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda, the House notes that the proposed 0.5% levy on electronic transaction is open to multiple interpretations at a time citizens are grappling with the effect of removal of subsidies from petroleum and electricity, as well as rising inflation.
Multiple interpretations, including that the levy be paid by bank customers, that is Nigerians, against the letter and spirit of Section 44(2)A of the Act, which specified businesses that should be levied accordingly. The House is worried that this Act has led to apprehension as civil society organizations and citizens of the country have taken to conventional and social media to call out the federal government, give ultimatums for reversal of the imposed levy on Nigerians, amongst others.
In other resolutions, the Green Chamber also called for urgent resuscitation of the Bahrain power plant in Bayelsa State to contribute significantly to the national grid.
Resuscitate the power plant, which is built with $400 million and valued as of today with over $800 million. The management of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company is proposing to designate the 252 megawatt open cycle power station as a construction site. The House resolved to urge the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the chairman of the board of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, to summon an emergency meeting of the board for urgent resuscitation of the Bahrain power plant in order to increase national grid.
The Nigerian government, in collaboration with Self-Help Africa and development partners, has unveiled the Wash System Health Program. Usman Zuberi reports that Minister for Water Resources, Bello Muhammad Goronyo, who launched the 4-year program, said it is aimed at reducing preventable diseases and increasing access to clean water, sanitation and livelihood.
This marks a significant event in Nigeria's journey towards ensuring access to clean water, proper sanitation and hygiene services for all. The implementation of this transformative initiative, led by Self-Help Africa and partners across Nigeria, concentrates on bolstering both solid and liquid waste management system while reinforcing wash facilities within healthcare institutions.
We need sustainable wash systems to achieve gender equality outcomes, to provide dignity to women and girls, to address menstrual health and hygiene challenges.
To focus on natural resources that help to address climate change issues, so tree planting, land restoration, carbon climate finances.
Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Muhammad Goronyo, said the government will strengthen the wash system, enhance community engagement and empower local stakeholders to be more driving force behind the sustainability of this program.
Work tirelessly to ensure that every household, school and health facility in our nation has access to safe, reliable and sustainable wash infrastructure.
Embracing adaptive measures, investing in resilient infrastructure and empowering communities, we can ensure that the notion of water and food security is no longer a distant dream, but a tangible reality for all.
The initiative, which is a pilot program, will cover some selected states across the country, taking cognizance of accountability, planning and budgeting process. Usman Zuberi, NTA News.
The management of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has promised collaboration with the Albino Foundation to give it the platform to project its activities. The assurance was given during a courtesy visit to the leadership of NTA by a team of the foundation. Francis Udojo has the details.
The team, led by the founder and chief executive officer of the Albino Foundation, were at NTA's headquarters to seek collaboration, especially in showcasing the strength and challenges of people living with disabilities. Awareness campaign focusing on discrimination in workplaces are among areas mentioned to receive attention.
So if we collaboratively put our heads together, we should be able to come up with something that we can go out there and market with your marketing skill to either development partners or corporate organization in support of this as a way of your own social corporate responsibility, which you have been doing.
The Director General of NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos, and other management staff said NTA is always open to the needs of people living with disabilities, pointing to a dedicated program on NTA tagged Against All Odds as one among many avenues deployed by the organization to help create attention towards meeting their needs.
Disability in the country. We almost have to understand that these people need some special attention because of the condition they find themselves. Nobody ever bargained for that, but situations warrant that they found themselves in the position they are. So as human beings, we need to give them all the support that they require. And I believe for us in the NTA, we've done so much and we'll continue.
NTA, however, called on all Nigerians to show more concern to the needs of the PWDs for human development. Francis Dojo, NTA News.
The Action Democratic Party, ADP, has presented a letter of return to Ayodeji Emmanuel Akinodi, the Ondo State governorship candidate following a successful primary election on April 25, 2024. As the state prepares for the November 16 election, the national chairman of the party, Yabagi Yusuf Sani, told party members in Ondo State to unite to effectively serve the public. He said a party plagued by internal discord cannot govern effectively or implement policies that will benefit the populace. He encouraged the citizens of Ondo State to consider their options carefully, as any wrong choice could be costly.
I call on Ondo State to lead the way in Nigeria's transformation by electing a dedicated, thoughtful, and charismatic leader. The time for change is now. This is a dream come true. We believe that the time has come for the good people of Ondo State to enjoy good health, to enjoy free education.
Yabagi Yusuf called on party members in Ondo State to lead the way in Nigeria's transformation by electing a dedicated, thoughtful and charismatic leader, adding that the time for change is now and ADP will not waver until its goals are achieved. Before we go, a quick look at Friday's weather prospects in Nigeria and major cities around the world. And this is where we end the news. Thank you for watching. My name is Frama Panyi, and Hannah Olayinka has been the sign language interpreter.